What if I told you that 90% of your sales emails are being deleted in under 3 seconds? And the reason has nothing to do with your offer, your product, even your subject line. In this video, you're going to learn the exact framework that I have used to write thousands of high-performing sales emails. It's the 1-10-100 rule. That single rule is going to transform how you write every one of your sales emails. Plus, I'm going to show you why most sales emails fail before they even get opened. Hi, I'm Leslie Venetz. I'm a USA Today best-selling author of Profit Generating Pipeline. I'm a 4-time head of sales, and I'm a top 1% award-winning B2B sales expert. Now, I teach outbound sales teams how to earn trust and drive revenue. Later in this video, I'm going to show you the number one thing that 90% of sellers get catastrophically wrong about their calls to action and why it is costing them revenue. First, let's level set. Outbound is harder than it's ever been before. Your prospects' attention is more diluted, their inboxes are more crowded. The result is that your emails are getting ignored. The brutal truth? Your prospects are not reading your emails. What's actually happening is that they are scanning them and deciding in 3 seconds or less if the email is even worth their time. Here's where most salespeople completely blow it. They write emails that look like this. Hi, John. I hope this email finds you well. I'm Sarah from XYZ Company. We're a leading provider of solutions that help companies like yours. And then they immediately start feature dumping. If I leave you with anything, remember to stop feature dumping in your sales emails and start promoting the benefits of the solution you have. So stop feature dumping, start promoting benefits. Now, you just heard me share that email example and you're thinking, ooh, I kind of write emails that sound like that. Listen closely, because if you're writing emails like that, it means that you've committed the 3 deadly sins of cold email outreach in the first 10 words of your email. 1, you wasted their time with a meaningless pleasantry. 2, you made it all about you, not them. 3, you gave them 0 reason to keep reading. This is where the 1-10-100 rule comes into play. I am going to teach you how to get more opens, how to write better emails, and how to get a higher positive response rate. It's going to change everything about how you're writing your sales emails. The 1-10-100 rule is deceptively simple, but it is based on loads of data as well as 2 decades of experience writing high-performing sales emails. I took the time to analyze what works, and I'm going to share it with you. So the 1 in the 1-10-100 is 1 clear, concise call to action. That's it. Not 3 questions, not 4 options, 1 action. This is important because when you give prospects multiple options, you're actually making it harder for them to decide what to do. What happens is that you give them decision paralysis. What I found after working with thousands of sellers on cold outbound, most of them do not even realize that they're using multiple CTAs. They think they're being helpful, but the end of their emails actually sound like this. Does this resonate with your team? Here's a link to a case study so you can learn more. Would you like to meet on Tuesday or Thursday to discuss further? Just in case you didn't notice it, that is 3 separate calls to action. What do you want them to do? To answer your question? To click on the link? To confirm if they want to speak next week? When prospects get emails like that, they feel overwhelmed and they delete the email. Data from HubSpot shows that emails with a single call to action significantly outperform those with multiple CTAs. That's because every additional ask creates friction and reduces clarity, and the result is fewer replies. When it comes to multiple CTAs, confusion kills conversion. The moment that you've divided your prospect's attention, you're cooked. Okay, so 1 is 1 clear, concise call to action. Now 1-10-100, the 10, optimize the first 10 words of your email, and that includes the subject line. You're optimizing so that the reader wants to open your email to learn more, to read more. What I have found is that most sellers obsess over the subject line. And yes, subject lines do matter, but they obsess over the subject line and then completely ignore the preview text. So in case you've never heard the phrase preview text before, this is the text that appears maybe next to or right below your subject line in your prospect's inbox. It is then the first 10 words that your prospect sees before they open your email. So the full preview text is your subject line plus those first few words of the body of your email. It's essential that you get those first 10 words right so that you can increase your open rates, especially because depending on industry, 46 to 78% of emails are first viewed on mobile. So when you write, "Hi, John, I hope this email finds you well," you've just wasted your most valuable email real estate saying nothing. And if you use those first 10 words saying nothing, that makes the prospect want to see more, want to open your email, you're going to get more deletes and fewer opens. What I want you to start doing is use those first 10 words to create curiosity. You can demonstrate relevance, you can share social proof, you can promise value, but there has to be enough curiosity that makes them want to take the next step, which is to open your email. You need to make your prospect think, I need to see what's inside of this email. Okay, so 10, the first 10 words of your email. 1, 10, 100, now the 100. The 100 is to keep your total email under 100 words. And you might be thinking, Leslie, 100 words is simply not enough words to communicate my important message. And I hate to be the one to break this to you, but 100 is actually on the high end of word count for cold sales emails based on what the data shows. Studies from Boomerang found that response rates peaked between 75 and 100 words. Reggie.ai, their data shows even lower. Their data shows that cold intro emails, cold outbound between 16 and 68 words got the highest positive response rates. I don't think we need to get too into the data, but what I can tell you for sure is that going over 100 words definitely has a negative impact on your response rates. Here's why this is so important. Because it's not about being short just to be short. It's important because it is about respecting your prospect's cognitive load. The reality is that your prospect's brain is already maxed out. They are managing multiple priorities. They are fighting fires. They are attending yet another Zoom that could have been an email. Plus, don't forget the dozens of emails that other sellers are sending. So the last thing they want or need is another email that requires a lot of mental effort for them to decode. When you keep your emails under 100 words, you're respecting their time. You're making your emails scannable. All right, now that you understand the 1, 10, 100 rule to get higher open rates and higher positive response rates, I will break it to you that knowing the rule is only half the battle. So in a minute, I'm going to show you the 3 techniques that you need to apply to make this actually work. And that one mistake that you need to avoid that kills 90% of reply rates. And you're probably thinking, Leslie, I get it. 1 CTA, optimize for the first 10 words, 100 words, but you might already be asking, what the heck should I say in those 100 words? So the 3 simple techniques that I'm going to teach you will help you make every single word count. Plus, I'm going to show you how to use escalating CTAs to make sure that you don't just get replies, you get positive replies. Here's how that formula works. First, you need to lead with relevance and demonstrate that you understand their world. Your opening should immediately convey why this email matters to them. So not you, not your company, them. This means shifting from product to problem-centric messaging. So let me give you an example. Instead of, I'm Leslie, I help companies increase revenue, try something like, most companies lose up to 40% of their pipeline due to slow follow-up and don't even realize it. Do you see the difference? One is about the product, or it really centers you, the company. One centers the problem that you're solving for. Now, here's something that most salespeople get wrong, and it's a trap I don't want to see you fall into. They think that showing the prospect that they've done research by reading the news back to them is enough. In fact, that is a waste of time. So if you write, I noticed that your team doubled in size last quarter and stopped there, you have just told them something that they already know, and that is meaningless. That is a waste of their attention. So please, I beg you, resist empty kudos on funding rounds or regurgitating people's LinkedIn profiles back to them. The value is in showing them that you understand what that doubling of team size means for them, for their business. So if you were going to say, I noticed your team doubled in size last quarter, you need to immediately follow with an observation about what that means to them. The relevant observation is what makes it work. So just the observation, noise. The connection to their problem, that's what earns their attention. And that is so important because especially in those early stages of outreach, what you are doing is earning their trust. You are building recognition, you are building credibility, and you are ultimately earning the right to their attention and their time. which means that you have not earned the right to pitch to them yet. You have not earned the right to ask them to care about you and your company and your product and your pitch. If you are not making it about them, you are not earning the right to their attention or action. I think that bears repeating. If you are not making it about them, you are not earning the right to their attention or action. So that first technique is shifting from product to problem-centric messaging to make sure it's relevant to them. The second technique is Whitespace matters. So even if you stay under 100 total words, if you send that as one dense block of text, what do you think is going to happen? Your email is going to get deleted because it is mental overload. So instead, break up that block of text into paragraphs and make each paragraph 1 to 2 sentences maximum. What I want you to do is give that message a little room to breathe. That same study I mentioned from HubSpot also found emails with shorter paragraphs are significantly more likely to be read than those with dense text. You can even look in your own email for an example of this. If you're scrolling through and you see emails with dense blocks of text versus emails that are short and punchy, which are you more likely to scan, to read, to respond to? Remember, dense emails get deleted. Okay, and the third technique is to earn more replies by escalating your CTAs. This is one of my favorite techniques. I'm so excited to get to share it with you. And stay with me here because I know this might not sound as impactful as some of the other techniques I've shared, but this is where most sales emails fall apart at the finish line. So what most sellers mess up is that they ask for too much too soon. When you are doing cold outbound, when you are emailing a total stranger and asking them for their attention, the very first thing that you ask for should not be their time, should not be a meeting. In my opinion and my experience of running high-performance sales teams, you've not earned the right to make that ask yet. What we can do instead is start with low friction asks. A low friction ask is something like worth learning more or is this of interest? So they are easy yes, no answers. Those low friction asks require almost no effort from the prospect. As you continue with your outreach, I suggest you experiment with deposit CTAs. A deposit CTA is where you give before you ask. So the idea is that you're making a deposit before you make a withdrawal. A little reciprocity there. My favorite ways to make deposits are to give them something that is relevant and of value. So perhaps a report, an article, a blog post, but it has to be something that they would actually want to read. The goal is to teach them something so that you can continue to build that trust and that credibility. You give before you ask. What has always worked for me and my top performing teams and now my clients who are excelling is to strive to earn trust before selling. So earn trust, then sell. And once you have demonstrated relevance, you have added value across multiple touch points, now I think it's safe and fair to go in with that direct ask for time. So that might mean sharing your calendar link if that's appropriate for your industry, or it can be explicitly asking them to take a meeting with you. What I think you're seeing with escalating CTAs is that it naturally aligns with this mindset of earning the right to your prospect's attention and time and consideration. By adding relevance and value at each touch point, you make your prospect more comfortable with a bigger ask later on. You prove that you're not just a high pressure salesperson trying to push a sale or push your agenda onto them. Instead, you are somebody who understands their problems and has value to offer. That gradual escalation of CTAs respects the prospect's autonomy by building trust before making those bigger asks. When you write your sales emails and your sales sequences in a way that only focuses on the next step, instead of focusing on the end goal, your prospects feel less pressure, so they are more likely to engage. So what you will see is that those small steps lead to big meetings. So what happens when you take this advice and you start writing every single sales email applying the 1-10-100 rule? Here is what you can expect. Your open rates will increase because you are optimizing for those first 10 words. Your prospects will actually engage with your emails because you are respecting their time and you are leading with relevance. And your response rates will climb because you are making it crystal clear which action you would like them to take next. And most importantly, you will start building that profit generating pipeline. So if those are the results you want, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. I am breaking down the exact strategies that I teach sales leaders so that they can build repeatable, scalable outbound motions that drive revenue. Before you head to the next video, let's quickly recap 1-10-100. So 1, clear, concise call to action. Make it obvious what you want them to do next and easy to take that step. Start with low pressure asks as you are earning the right to be more direct. If you do this, you will increase your reply rates. Make them want to see more with your preview text. That is both your subject line and those first few words of the body of your email. Make sure that you are using those first 10 words to drum up some curiosity and to show relevance. That is how you will get your emails opened in the first place, and then make sure that they are 100 words maximum. This respects the prospect's time, it reduces their cognitive load, and it keeps the prospect reading instead of deleting. When you apply the 1-10-100 rule to every email you write, you will see your open rates climb, you will see better positive reply rates, and you will start building a more durable pipeline. If you are a sales leader and you want to learn how I can help implement these with your team, head to my website, which is salesledgtm.com. I work with organizations on sales strategy as well as SKOs and training workshops. And it's all about teaching your team the mindsets and the skill sets that help them build repeatable processes and profit generating pipeline. For everybody else, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. I'm continuing this series with more strategies from my best-selling book, Profit Generating Pipeline. Thanks so much for watching.